Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video where you get to tag along my baking journey. Today's video will be a bit of an experiment as I use two recipes to create this healthier alternative milk bread. Stay tuned for the secret ingredient. To start off, I have 300 grams of bread flour in a bowl. Then I'll add 35 grams of brown sugar to provide additional nutritional value compared to white sugar. Then I'm going to add 4 grams of salt and 3 grams of instant yeast. I'm now going to coat all of these ingredients with flour. It's important that the yeast is not placed directly onto the salt, as it can slow its growth, which isn't ideal when making this bread. Now onto the secret ingredient. I've decided to add soybean powder for that extra boost in protein but also flavor. When using soy milk to make bread, it can often be too mellow. Last ingredient is the soy milk. I'm adding 250 grams of soy milk that has been warmed up in the microwave for 45 seconds, or until it's around 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Now we're going to mix the wet and dry ingredients together. It's always good to scrape the spatula occasionally to properly mix the ingredients. In the end, I used my hands to better incorporate everything. Once that's done, cover and let it rest for 15 minutes. After the dough has rested for 15 minutes, mix in 25 grams of room temperature butter and use your hands to fully mix it in. I like to do a combination of squeezing and folding for the dough to absorb the butter. When all the butter is mixed in, add a bit of oil and place the dough back into the bowl. Cover and proof for 40 minutes. Now it's time for the first fold. Flip the dough and bring the 4 corners to the middle. And form it back to a circular shape. The second proofing will be 30 minutes. When 30 minutes is over, repeat the folding technique again and cover and let it proof for 40 minutes. At this point, we're going to check if the dough has proofed properly by poking the dough with a finger. I coated my finger with flour so that the dough doesn't stick on my finger. If it doesn't bounce back, it's fully proofed. The second method is a window pane test. Grab a small piece of the dough and stretch it out with your fingers. If it can be stretched out to a thin layer where you can kind of see through it, your dough is done proofing. Dust the work surface before taking out the dough. Remove the dough from the bowl and divide it into 2 equal pieces. Take one of them and roll it out. Let's rewind that because you're actually supposed to let the dough rest for 10 minutes before rolling it out. As I was rolling the dough for the second time, there were more resistance, which is a sign of overworking the dough. The final product came out to be more dense, but apart from that, I would say this is better than purchasing milk breads from your local Asian grocery store. Once the dough is rolled out, bring the dough from the 2 sides in and make sure to push it down. Roll the dough for a little bit more and then slowly roll the dough together, making sure it's secure. Repeat the same step for the other half. Place the 2 halves into a loaf pan that has been oiled. Cover and let it proof 1 hour to 1.5 hours. For the egg wash, mix in 1 egg yolk and 1 tablespoon of soy milk. Lightly brush the egg wash onto the dough. Bake the bread in a 375 degrees Fahrenheit oven for 25 minutes. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next video.